Hello, my crafty friends, and welcome to a crafter's story. So I'm going to try and do a paper weave, and I thought before I go ahead and I cut up all these papers, I wanted to show them to you as a whole, while they are still whole, because they're really beautiful papers, and they're just ones that I stained here, there, and everywhere, and have kept over a period. So I'm going to take these guys and I'm going to cut them long ways into probably 1 inch or 3/4 inch strips, and then I'm going to try and see how it might look as just as a weave. Looks like I'm doing a Hawaiian dance. But yeah, I'm going to try and do a kind of paper weave and just see if that'll work. So I will come back once I have cut all of these into the strips, and we'll see what happens. Okay, you guys, so I showed you the papers earlier that I wanted to use, and I've decided to add a couple of pages because I wanted a wider piece, a final piece. So I've got to cut this last sheet into the strips, and I'm going to cut off this little broken bit here. Just line it up just like that, and take off this little piece here. Where's me? Ah, there it is. I found it. Okie dokie. Oh, I tore. Ah, goodness, I think I tore. Yep, it's okay. Sometimes when I dye papers, depending on what I'm using, they tend to come out the other end a little brittle, and I don't. So if you guys know why, please tell me in the comments below. But I suppose if I have to think about it, maybe they're in the water too long. Maybe it's the heat of the water that I'm using. I'm not too sure why, but I'm going to go and finish this off, and I will be back and then show you how I start the weave. Okay, I am just cutting the last couple of strips from my last piece of paper, and I decided that I'm going to do 11 sheets of paper, and that way I can do a square, and I'll explain the math. You guys who have been watching my videos, we know math. Not quite not quite my thing, but I can count to 11. I've at least accomplished that. So this project's safe because it's only 11. I only have to count to 11. All right, so I've got doing my last cut. And when I'm cutting these papers, it's 11 1-inch pieces, and then there's always they're 11, that's not what I meant. They're 11 long, but there are 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is because it's an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and then you're always left with this half piece. So I put that aside. Let's just clip these together so I don't lose them. Told you people can't count. Oh, give me a piece of paper and some crafting supplies any day, or anything creative, and I am a wizard. But I'm not a wizard when it comes to anything to do with numbers. Oh, horrible. Anyway, so now I've got all these pre-cut pieces, and because it is a piece of paper, printer paper that I dyed is 11 long, I wanted 11 across so that I had a square. So a square, I guess this could be a quilt in a way, a paper quilt. Didn't really think of it that way, but I guess it could be a paper quilt. So here are my pieces. I'm going to lay them out just quickly to show you. There they are, and they're all neatly clipped together so that I don't lose them. So I'm going to put them aside and show you. I'm going to try and follow the pattern that I created earlier. Just this pattern here. So I'll put that one down. Then it was, this one was first. 3, 4. That looks wrong. 5. Okay, I'll keep my pattern as best I can. There we go. Like that. And then this last one I still have to paste down. And so that half piece, that half an inch piece that came off the end when I was cutting, this piece here, I kept one from earlier from this pink. So let me get that down first, I suppose. You know what? I think I'm going to use something stronger. I think I'm going to use that Aleene's Tacky glue. It'll dry a little faster as well. Like that. Oh, not that one. Not that one. This one. Get this little piece of paper down. And so now with them being anchored on that top piece, I can move it around and anchor them at the bottom there with another piece, because that way when I'm doing the weave in between with the remaining strips, wonder, actually I'm going to make my life a little easier and flip this. I think that might make more sense, like that. And then I'll just put a little bit of glue all the way along the strip, and let us get this down, 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 down. Just like that. Oopie, 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 oopie. Come back here. So I want to make sure that all my pieces are lying as straight as I can get them. And I think I'm good. So I'm going to leave that just for a minute to really grip and dry. And then we'll come and we'll start with the weaving. I think that's probably long enough that they've dried. I just gave it a minute. I'm going to get started on the very first of the weaves, and let's see what happens. Let's see if this crazy idea of mine actually makes any sense. And you know, this is not going to be big enough to cover a larger journal, but you could always extend this and put another little piece of paper down and put more strips down and make this longer. And then these strips you could always also just glue another one onto the strip so that you have longer pieces, and then you can make this a longer weave project. And I'm going to push it up all the way as far as it'll go and try and keep it straight. There we go. All right, and then I will try and keep my pattern going as well. So I'm going to follow the color pattern down. I don't know if it really matters. I think it does, but that's just me. Okay, now because I went under, I'm going to go over and then under the second one, over the third, under the fourth. So I'm doing opposite. Oh gosh, really. Here we go. I'm all thumbs and fingers today. Yesterday, I was talking to my kiddo on his drive home, and I saw a bumblebee. Good gracious, those things are big. I had no idea they were that big. It was really pretty. So I ran outside and I went and filmed it, but it started flying at me, so I'm a real scaredy cat. I started running away. Okay, so I've noticed that the paper, there's going to be some, see that? This little piece is not long enough. So when I'm using this paper weave, I'm going to have to tuck this side down, and that's okay. And if I was making this longer, there would be a join, you know, I could scoot this up and the join would be there, and so the join would have to be neat, and then you could extend it. But for this one, because I'm doing it on camera and I really want the whole piece to show in the frame, I'm just going to keep going. All right, so the next one is green. I've been wanting to do this for ages, and I've attempted to do this in the past, and I wholeheartedly fouled it up. So I put it aside because I was upset with myself over it, and I thought, ugh, what am I doing, you know? But it's not in my nature to give up on a craft project. So I just left it, took a breath for a month, took a couple of breaths, and came back. And now it's working. So, you know, sometimes you just have to put something aside and let it breathe, take a moment, rethink your strategy, and come back and try again. All right, so I'm going to just keep going, keep weaving, doing under, over, over, under, over, under, if you see what I mean. Just like a normal weave project with wool or yarn, to be exactly the same. So if you guys have done any kind of weaving designs before, you know what I mean. I'm just thinking, you know, if to hide this shortcoming here, paper, I could always put something here like a sticker or something that will that covers this end piece. But that's a problem for when we're done. Okay, you guys, so I've got one more space left to put in. I think I will fit another one. My concern is that this anchoring piece at the bottom here might stop that, but let's see. I think I don't want to tear any of it and force it, but let's see if I can manage it. And if it, okay, I'm only just, I think it is. So here's the math part. It would have been 11 this way, but I'm only fitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I would have thought, am I right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then these two little strips at the bottom here create number 10. And that's the part that I would have thought I would have gotten 11 in here. But you know what? I didn't. So this is a little snug. This one's a little tight. I might have to just go and do it a little differently to the others. And I think it's just because it's this last one and it's up against this anchor piece. So I'm trying to be careful. Don't want to break or tear anything. That would be sad, especially with the papers that are a little fragile, like the papers that I boiled, for instance. This paper here definitely is a paper I don't think I'll use again in this project. It seems very fragile. It just wants to tear. And so the papers that I think are working best in this project are the ones that are a little thicker. And so I think this one goes under, and then I managed it without any disasters. Whew! We did it! Okay, I think it turned out really, really nicely. I'm very pleased with it. So I'm going to do a little anchoring. Just these little pieces here. I'm going to put a dot of glue and just make sure that they don't escape on us. Pull this in a bit. There we go. And I think my next one that I make, I'm going to extend it and make a double so that it's longer, and then I can use it as a journal cover, because I think this will be a beautiful journal cover, really, really beautiful, on a big journal, like an 8.5 by, like a composition book size. I can use this one just, I think, as a cover for a smaller journal. Oh, see, now these ones I don't have to glue because they are anchored. But these are now glued down. So that is beautiful. All right, so I think I'm going to go and get a couple of stickers and maybe a little ribbon or lace. And no, not the ribbon or lace. I'm going to, I think, just leave this as is. I'm just thinking about how to use this. And what you could do if you like, if you feel like you want a little more security with papers like this one here that is boiled paper, when I eco-dyed it, I know this is going to tear. It just feels very fragile. It's got places where it was tearing just as I was cutting the strips. You could Mod Podge this whole thing or put on a matte medium just to give it a little bit of security. And then for me, in places where there's an overlap of dual colors, like here and like there, in some places like here it's not as noticeable, but definitely places like here and here, when I go to use it, I'm probably going to put something over it. Just because I'll sticker, a word, something. So let me go and find something and see if we can make a book cover. So I realized that I missed a step. So we went ahead and finished the weaving and I anchored down these pieces, but silly me, I didn't think to anchor down the back pieces. So let's go ahead and do that. And then I will show you what I want to do with this piece. I want to use it as a journal cover. But to do that, I'm going to have to mask or cover this back side. First, just because it's the back side, but I don't want to cover it too much because it is still pretty. It still has a design element of its own. And so I thought, well, what if oh dear, I'm going to move this a little bit. Like that. What if I just took maybe some of this tissue paper, maybe do something pretty like this. Oh, perfect. And I just pasted that down so that you can still see through some of the weave design, but yet there is an anchor backing, I guess is a good word to use, on the back. So I'm going to do that. Oops, come back. I'm going to just put down some simple stick glue, just sort of everywhere. Oh dear, gosh, I've got to be careful. See if I do it that way. And just a simple stick glue will work with this. Oh gosh, you guys, I'm making myself paranoid that I'm going to break paper, and I'm trying to be so careful. but also move along on the project so that we can get it finished in good time. Oh, that paper. All right, let's see. I guess I can always, well, actually, no, I can't. Once it's down, it's down. So I'll get down as much of this paper, of this glue that I can. Really get it in there. And maybe, I was going to use a liquid glue, but I think it will crinkle this very thin tissue paper, and I don't want that. I just want a very, let's see if I did enough. I hope so. The other thing with this is it's going to hide the anchor piece. You see what I'm not, let me get it back so you can see. You know that that anchor piece at the top there, that this is also going to hide that. So I'm kind of developing this craft as I talk to you guys, but I think it's coming along. All right, so I'm going to leave this glue to, well, actually, do I? Maybe I don't. Maybe I can just carry on. I'm going to flip this over. Oh, that's okay. Some of this glue came through. That's all right. No problem. I'll just get it off there. I'm going to cut this loose. Get rid of the excess. And then I have, I think, the makings of a journal cover. And I've got a little signature ready here. And I'm going to, this is also a nice way, it doesn't have to have been strips just from, this could have been calendar pages that you cut into strips, and they don't have to be 1 inch wide. They could be 2 inches wide. They could be 1/2 inch wide or 3/4 inch. It really doesn't matter too much. It's just a way of, if you've got strips of paper, you're good to go. All right, I think I'm going to just give this a try. And I'm just going to, let's see how this might work. Should I just fold it in half first? Maybe that's a good idea. Fold it in half. Okie dokie, artichoke. All right, and then I'm going to come in here. Maybe I should do it up there, and maybe I can get another mini in here. Yeah, let's do that. Oh gosh, I think this is going to be so cute. All right, so what do? I put this in the middle and maybe get out my long stapler. Yeah, let's get out the long stapler and give myself some space here. All right, move it along. Get this in here. Well, thank you for being patient with me, and thank you for working through this project with me. I'm going to take out, oh, sorry, I dropped it. I'm going to take out the center staple, because I want to place another staple there that anchors the cover. Okay, so let's come in here again, get it into the center, and get it into my stapler. It doesn't have to be super accurate, but I want to go up so that I've got some extra down here to make another. See if I can get this. There we go. And I'm going to cut it loose along the edge, just off, not quite against the paper, but just off to the side. So it does look like a proper cover, you know. And I suppose I could have used my craft knife for this as well. Oh, it's moving. I might have to come in and sew this down a little bit, because it's only got one staple and it's not super secure. Either staple a little more, and I think let's do that because I haven't got any of my threads out. And I'll just go maybe at the end. Let me make sure that I've got it straight. There we go. And then one at the end there. Gosh, this thing is stapled. I went a little too much, but this is a practice one, so next time will be better. All right, cut this loose here, and yeah, I like this. I think it's going to be a great way for me to use up scraps of paper. So what should we call this? I'm trying to think what to call this when I go and edit the video. I always have to give the video a name. So I could call it, excuse me, Scrappy Weave. If you guys have a better idea of what to call it, let me know. I can always change the video name. Let's see, how do I close this? Just like that. Oh my gosh, look at that. So cute. But yes, it needs something to cover the staples and to cover some of these joins, which I probably have at the back. Yes. Yep. Let's go and find something. Okay, guys, I went and scratched in my stash and I found a little piece of burlap, and I think that would look nice. So I've gone ahead and already pasted it down the back. And I'm going to do actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to take quickly first, just clip these round. I want to round out these edges quickly. Let me get that in there. Oh, another thing that I have to check on is that all these little bits are secured down, because they were secure in the big piece on the ends, but as I started cutting, and you know, those pieces that weren't secured down with glue are now lifting. So I'm gonna have to just quickly get this aged up and then go and glue them down. Probably should have used a brown, right? That's okay. It's all right. There we go. So I've got some aging on the edges there. I'm going to come in and make sure that all my bits and pieces are well and truly down. Nothing's going to try and escape. So as you go along with this project, you're going to be constantly just checking, like I am doing now, making sure. I think we're good. Okay, now I think we're good. Now let's get the burlap down. I was trying to think, what is it? Because to me, this is Hessian, but I know that's not what it's called in other parts of the world. And so I had to Google it. All right, so there we go. I think that should be, oh, probably got too much. Too much. That's okay. Go like that. Maybe I can put just a little bit on the end here. Make sure it stays down. Like that. There we go. And I'm probably going to want to go and do this on the back end as well later. All right, so there we go. And when it's dry, I'll clip off these bits. Just get this glue off my fingers. Okay, ready. And because I have these bits, now the burlap has covered some of this bottom bit here that's, I said to you guys, is not even. At the back, for some reason, it is even, and I guess it's just the length of the strips we used, and that's fine. But I've got these cute little stickers. I'm going to take off this sort of 3D bit here. Don't really want that. Maybe it'd be easier if I cut it off. Yeah. I don't want them to stick up. Didn't realize this was on there. Sorry, you guys. All right. And then I'm going to put it down here. Just get a bit of glue. Oops, go away. That. Get the this little guy down here. There we go. That covers our imperfection. See? You stick a sticker on it. It's my motto. It's not exactly a sticker, but it does the trick. Now, I could come in with more of these and maybe put one up there. I could put maybe one in the middle. Oh, just not. Oh, that one faces the wrong way. So I don't want to use that. All right, so it would have just been either these two. Maybe I would have put them down like that instead. I'm not super sure that that's what I want to do. And so sometimes when I come to this sort of crossroads in a project, I'll leave it and just give it a minute to kind of percolate. Just think about what I want to do and then come in later. So maybe I'd rather put a nice big leafy sticker here, which I think is probably what I'm going to do. So let's leave this to dry, come in with a leafy sticker, and then I think our project is done. So I think, and this is not quite dry, it's still quite wet, but I'm just going to chance it. I'm going to open this up and cut off the excess so that, because we don't want that, right? Don't want this extra, don't want that. We don't need this. All right, just like that. And I have a washi sticker here, or a washi type sticker, should I say. It's not, I suppose it's a washi sticker. It's on sort of a paper tape. If I can just get it off the backing. Come on, you. Oh, no, don't fold over. Ah, brother. Oh, no. Let's see if I can fix it. There, I fixed it. Hoo-wee. I think let's get this little guy down the middle. Just something like that. And I'll make sure it's down. There we go. I think this turned out really well. With this weave type paper, you honestly could do what we did today, or maybe just use it as a page in a journal once you've given it a backing. Maybe it's a white paper backing or coffee stained paper backing. I think though you're probably going to want to do something that's a little thinner, like tissue paper, because it could make it a bit too thick. It'll be paper on paper, and this is already double in the places where it overlaps, and it overlaps everywhere because it's a weave. But yeah, there you go. We did a weave, and I think it turned out beautifully. I hope it's something you try, and please feel free to come and share on the Facebook page. The link is in the description below to the page, and come and join the group. Yeah, thank you for joining me, and thank you for going on this craft adventure with me. I'll see you next time. Bye.